Hello, Angel Nation. You have been missed. So sorry we've been MIA lately. I haven't talked to you guys since Valentine's Day, but we are back with another episode of Into the Game, and this week we'll be talking about LeBron's legacy. Stay tuned. Alright, welcome back, guys.
What's going on? Sorry, I know you were waiting for me to say something. My bad.
I was like, you gonna talk?
What's going on?
Alright, so we were sitting here and you said you wanted to talk about something. What's on your mind?
Well, a question hit me a couple of days ago, or a day ago, whatever, about LeBron's legacy. Now that he's in the West Coast and the Lakers ain't doing too good. They lost against the Suns, which they shouldn't have. I mean, that game was an embarrassment to LeBron, to the Lakers, all that stuff. The Suns are one of the worst teams in the NBA. The Lakers are in a situation where they need to win these games, especially games like that, to get to the playoffs. This could be LeBron's first in a long time of not making the playoffs. And it happens as he joins the West Coast, which a lot of people, including myself, I'll take the hit for this, have said that LeBron has had easy roads being in the East Coast. And when he gets to the West Coast, it's going to be an eye-opener about how challenging it is. Like I've always said to people, Kobe needs more respect.
Yeah.
Because he did what he did. Tim Duncan as well. Let me give credit to him as well because he's underrated. Tim Duncan needs to get more respect. I mean, Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant, when he was with the OKC, it's easier now he's with Golden State. But when he was with OKC, like anybody in the West Coast who's a star deserves more credit than they deserve because the West Coast is a hard area to play in. There's a lot of great teams that gets better. It's more competitive. That's why, like, when you see... Like, you hear a lot of people saying, especially in the last few years, man, watching the West Coast playoff series is more entertaining than the finals. They find it more entertaining. That's why when the Cavs won the finals, it was so, like, relieving. Because it was like, wow, the East Coast came down 3-1 and won the series. But outside of that, I mean, the last 2 years have been blowouts. But back to LeBron, it's just, I believe, to answer the question, because I was asked, is his legacy how should I say, will it take a hit? Absolutely.
I don't think so. It takes a minute to get acclimated anywhere.
No.
It does. It takes a minute. And I mean, he's in a whole nother city. He's in a whole nother conference. So he typically playing in the Eastern Conference. Now he's in the Western Conference.
I'm not saying...
He has a whole new team. And it's just the first year.
Doesn't matter.
It's literally the first year.
It was the first year when he was with the Cavs. And he went to the finals that same year. There's no excuse. I'm not saying he needs to make the finals.
But that was also after he had already gotten rings in the Eastern Conference. Yeah.
That doesn't matter. Rings, it doesn't matter where you get it from. And that's not even the point. The point is... When you're calling yourself the greatest of all time, when you're joining the Lakers team, who the roster is not as bad as people say. When you look at other teams and then you look at the Lakers are mellow. Like, they're good. They're not horrible. They're not great. They're good. When you put LeBron on there, it should be better. If you don't make the playoffs, I'm not saying the finals. I'm not even saying win the first round of the playoffs.
You just need to make it to the playoffs.
Just make it there. When you call yourself the greatest of all time, you need to make it there. And there's other things, too, that the LeBron will take a hit for with his legacy, which I'll get to in a second. But I want to get this out. You can't perform the way you are. And you can't make excuses. You can't put your team on blast on interviews. You can't try to, be a passive-aggressive, and all that other stuff. LeBron's been doing that for years. In the East Coast, it worked because he made it to the playoffs still and to the finals. People look past his passive-aggressive attitude because he's like, well, he's getting to the finals. Now you're in the West Coast where your true color is going to show, and you can't make the playoffs. Well, it's still not certain yet, but it's not looking good. Let me say, you lost against the Phoenix Suns in a bad way. Like, they came into the fourth quarter down 16 points, something like that. They was down by a lot. Everybody on Twitter, everybody was like, what is going on right now? It's like, why are you struggling? It's not like LeBron's playing by himself on the court. And then people can make excuses all they want about the rest of the team. When you're a leader and you call yourself the greatest of all time, you get them into shape. It's no excuse. It's no excuses. Greatest of all time, then show up and let me see you make the playoffs. Nobody was expecting the Lakers to win the finals. I was hoping, a couple other people was hoping, but nobody was like banking that they was gonna win the finals. I mean, come on, you got Golden State in that conference. I mean, it's kind of, they gave LeBron slack. But when you don't make the playoffs, And people say, well, he was injured for 18 games. Well, that's why I said for these rest of the games, you got to make it count. When you play against, and I hate to, well, I don't want to call them trash. When you play against teams like the Suns, I'm going to keep it like that, keep it nice. Teams like the Suns.
After you already said you're not going to call them.
I said I'm not going to call them, but teams like the Phoenix Suns, shout out to those who live in Phoenix. I'm sorry. But at least I won that game against the Lakers. But you should be taking that, and you should take advantage of that. And say, okay, we need an X amount of wins to get to the playoffs. We know we can beat the Phoenix Suns. I think any team knows they can beat the Phoenix Suns. That's how bad they are. Shout out to Devin Booker. That's the star on that team. He deals a lot with such a horrible franchise. But you should see that and be like, okay, we can win that. But no, you lose, and in an embarrassing way. And then you see LeBron's attitude. He looks like he just doesn't care. And that's what makes people question, why did you go to LA again? Did you really go for basketball, or did you go for dancing in front of a mirror to 2 Chainz songs? Which you probably don't know this, but after he lost, he doesn't sit there. When Kobe and Jordan lost, you don't hear from them. They're mad. They're talking to their team. They're getting it together. LeBron is the next day has on Instagram him dancing to 2 Chainz songs in the mirror of his closet. And people are questioning, like, you just lost.
He's in LA.
No, well, then that's the problem. Then
he's in LA.
If that's the response, then that's a problem.
Yeah, he started his show. He's looking more into the business aspect.
Well, that's
of it.
that's wrong. Then it calls himself the greatest of all time, and that's it. I really hope Kobe or somebody knocked on his door and taught some sense to him. But anyway, you took a big contract to lead. Mm-hmm. It's like, and honestly, and I told somebody this, it's like after that Anthony Davis trade never happened for him, he just gave up. His attitude was different. His responses was like, it just wasn't, he seems lazy sometimes. What ended up happening
with that?
It just never happened.
So Anthony Davis is still...
Yeah, he's still with the Pelicans.
Okay.
Which that was a whole mess. And they expect the rest of his team just to like LeBron or to act like that trade never happened, because Magic was going to trade basically the whole team.
Okay.
And once it didn't happen, he wanted them to go perform again. It's like, well, you was about to trade me. It's like, I'm not going to work hard for this guy. And let me give credit where it's due. Brandon Ingram, Kuzma, they're still working their butts off. A couple things they need to work on, but the team hasn't been the same. LeBron hasn't been the same coming back from injury. It's like that Anthony Davis trade just messed him up, or honestly, in my opinion, I really believe he's taken too much. He's distracted. He has movies.
I was going to say, he is distracted.
He's talking about Space Jam and all this stuff. He's dancing in mirrors. He's doing in studio with 2 Chainz.
Yeah, he's looking at the business.
Which, again,
it's fine
in the
for
off
anyone.
season, I don't care about that. In the off season, do what you got to do. But he's doing more stuff in the season than I'm seeing him doing in the off season. He's talking about this, that. It's okay. You're losing.
Yeah.
Steph Curry can do all that stuff. It's like they have the right. Curry and them have the right to do that. They are winning, and it doesn't look like they're gonna lose this year. Hopefully they do, because I'm not a fan, but it doesn't look like they are. Teams like that, and I still would be like, get back on your A game. But when you look at that team, it's like, okay, the Lakers might not even make the playoffs. But yet, instead of seeing basketball, you see 5 to 6 different things LeBron's doing outside of basketball. The Shop, which I love the show.
Yeah.
The 2 Chainz thing, good album. All this other different stuff. It's like, okay. But where's your focus?
You also have to think, though, like a lot of stuff when it comes to like television and like the business aspect of things that he's doing, that stuff can be pre-recorded. So he may have done all that in the off season, and now it's coming out during this season, and it's getting the attention and the hype that he likes, and so he's looking and focusing on the business aspect of it.
Well, Instagram stories are 24 hours.
Okay,
I don't want to see you dancing.
I can't go on that one.
I don't want to see you dancing when you just lost an embarrassing loss. He was on Shaq and the Fool for doing something stupid. That's how bad it was.
That's bad.
It was an accident, but still.
Yeah,
he just, and then for him to go on camera, playoff mode is activated, and then this is what you perform. This is how you perform. This is playoff mode. But again, my brother has told me this, and other people have told me this. He was in the East Coast. East Coast had a couple good teams. Honestly, the toughest opponent he's had in the East Coast in his career is the Boston Celtics. People know what I'm talking about with Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Rondo. That was the toughest years he had. Orlando for a second, but mostly Boston. Outside of that, that was probably the only taste of West Coast he had. They wasn't from the West Coast, but they played like it. Like they were tough. You know, they beat Kobe in the finals. And so, outside of that, yes, I even told my brother, as much as I like LeBron, he has had it easy. Step into the West Coast for a second.
Yeah.
You know, people say that about Jordan, but I'm like, no. But Jordan still smacked the West Coast when they met in the finals. You don't see LeBron smacking people in the West Coast when the finals hit. No, he loses most of them. He's 3 out of... He went to the finals 8 times. He only won 3. That means 5 other times, smack. Especially the last 2 years, he got smacked. You know, it was like, okay... You know, it's like Kevin Durant shooting in your face, Steph Curry dancing over you, you can't block Curry and all this other stuff. And he's 3 for 8. At least Jordan, when they did say, well, you didn't go to the West Coast, he was like, okay, I'll go to the finals then. He never had a game 7. And the shrug, when he does that little shrug when he runs, you know, he did that in the finals. So it's like the West Coast couldn't touch him. So anybody who says that, it's like Jordan. That's why I would never put LeBron over MJ and Kobe. Mm-hmm. Kobe was in the West Coast his whole career. The West Coast feared him. Mm-hmm. You know, Tim Duncan. I'm gonna say his name more because he needs more recognition. He has the same amount of rings as Kobe. He was the quietest guy. That's why you don't really hear nothing about him. He was really quiet, but Tim Duncan has the same amount of rings as Kobe. 5. I think, 5. Nobody talks about that. He was in the West Coast his whole career. You know, he didn't say, let me go play with Dwayne Wade. Nothing. He stayed with his crew. Kobe told Shaq to get the heck out or I'm leaving. So these are 2 people right there alone who's in the West Coast one, who didn't ask for superstars to join him or to join a superstar. And this is a West Coast where Kobe told a superstar to get out. Oh, I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
So they did the exact opposite LeBron did and won. LeBron steps into the West Coast this year, can't get to the playoffs? You lost against the Phoenix Suns. I was baffled. I'm watching. I'm like, I thought, what happened to playoff mode activated? What happened to you have to make the playoffs? Like I said, it seemed like he gave up after Anthony Davis. Now, people say that, some people, not a lot, because a lot of people ain't giving LeBron no slack from this, and they shouldn't. No, they should be on his, on his neck. You going on television saying you're the greatest of all time, But anyway, what was I saying? People wasn't giving him slack. Oh, people were saying that, he's resting his body for next season. Then he shouldn't be playing. And if that's true, so you telling me the greatest of all time is giving up? Like is he that desperate or something that he needs a superstar to help him? That you're just going to give up because a superstar didn't join your team and wait till next season? Your body's not getting any younger. No. Obviously, he had a groin injury, was out a lot of games. I forgot how many total, but out a lot of games. And honestly, let's scratch all that. You said you feel like you're the greatest of all time or something like that to that nature. That alone, you said you also are the best player in the world. We still don't forget that. You said that as you was losing against Golden State. You were losing against Golden State and say, I'm the greatest, I'm the best in the world. People have proven that they're not scared of you. People have proven that they can beat you. Scratch that. People have proven they can smack you around. There's nothing lately that has shown, and I'm saying lately because I'm trading my words carefully. There's nothing lately that LeBron has shown that we're like, wow, he's the greatest.
No, he has to get acclimated.
Player. I'm sorry, because I can name 3 players that's playing better than him right now. Yeah. That's playing better than him. 2, I hate saying it, but it's 2 names I'm like, I hate saying it, but it's true. And 1, he deserves it. And, well, I can say the 3. Durant is playing better than him right now. Curry is playing better than him right now. The 2 days, because I hate saying it because you're on a team that makes you better, but it's still true. When Durant sits down, Curry goes off. Yeah. When Durant sits down, Curry goes off. Curry is dancing still in front of people and making a 3. Like, he'll shoot the ball in the air. The ball didn't drop in the net yet. He's doing some spiral spin like he's dancing, then points at the opponent and the shot drops in. Like, that's how much of insult he is to the opponent. Wow. But what you gonna do to stop him? You can't stop him. You can stop LeBron, have him play defense. He's not playing defense. Have him shoot a free throw. He missed 2 clutch free throws against the Phoenix Suns. People are like, what? The greatest of all time? Still, he played in the league a long time. You telling me you haven't gone to that free throw line in practice? They call it free for a reason. Practice the free throws. I don't know how many years you got to be in the league. He can shoot shots from half court. We don't want you to do that. We want you to make your free throws. His career, a lot of the failures in his career had to do with his free throws. And you telling me you still haven't learned that? He's not Shaq, but we can let that go. He's a small forward. And you still are missing free throws. 2 of them in a row. Unacceptable.
That's bad.
Unacceptable. Oh, the third guy, Paul George. There's a few more. Giannis is playing better than him. I can go on. There's a few more other ones out there. This year, LeBron has definitely decreased. And I'm a big fan of his. I don't want no more excuses. You put yourself on a pedestal where excuses are unacceptable. The only excuse we'll allow is you wasn't a championship team. That's acceptable. Nobody really expected you to win a championship. You just got there. As you even said, you got to get used to the team. But when you have that stature, and there's no excuse for other players. When Durant's on the team, Kyrie Irving's on the team, Steph Curry's on the team, all these people, they are expected to make the playoffs. Hold on.
Bless you.
Excuse me, thank you. But, they're expected to make the playoffs. The times Kobe didn't make the playoffs, and this from I remember, is when he was already in the declining. He was injured. He was crazy injured. His team was absolute garbage. But even then, he still didn't make excuses because he even said it too. When I didn't make the playoffs, I was upset. I was not happy. And you don't see LeBron like that. You see him dancing in front of a mirror the next day. Literally, he couldn't put that post up fast enough. It's like, what are you doing? Like, there's no urgency to get better. And he can say all day, you can get better different ways. You can smile and dance to victory. No, stop it.
He's living his life.
You can live your life and take your job seriously.
Touche.
They paid him a lot of money to take care of business. Magic and Kobe said this: when you join the Lakers, you join to win championships. And this is also a thing that I forgot. Somebody reminded me. What also will stay in his legacy is before he retires, if he doesn't win a championship in LA, he'll be the only superstar to join the Lakers and never win a championship.
He'll win one. I believe he will.
I hope so, but also what's staying his legacy is if he needs 2 to 3 superstars to help him do it, you're no different than Golden State. And nobody's going to count these championships for you. They're going to count the Lakers one. They don't count the LeBron one. It's not going to happen. And it's getting annoying every year. As much as I like LeBron, I like what he does for the kids' school. I like all that stuff. But you're a basketball player too, bro. It's like he took money and just now we're just going to, shoot threes and just have fun. You can have fun, but take your job seriously. And it doesn't seem like he's taking it seriously.
He's taking his business seriously. He's doing so much right now.
I'm not talking about what he's doing outside. I'm talking about the court.
I understand.
When he put that jersey on, and I love Kobe said that too. He gives LeBron no slack. You put that jersey on, you better get ready to work.
I understand that, but when we go back to the initial question, how is this impacting his legacy? At the end of the day, when he retires, his legacy is more than basketball. And I feel like at this point, he's building up his business, his donations, his nonprofit, his school, his shows, his deals, his investments. He's building up all of that stuff to leave a bigger legacy on the world. Because, I'm looking outside of basketball.
Well, that's the thing.
I know.
Us who are talking about basketball, when we talk about legacy, we're talking about on the court.
But we talk about Jordan.
We talk about the whole... Proven what?
He's proven on the court that he is a great player. He's proven on the court.
Great player and greatest of all time
one of the greats.
2 different things.
He's proven that he's one of the greats.
There's a lot of great players. Zach LaVine is great with the Bulls, but he ain't making no playoffs.
But he's proven that he's
Zach
one of the
LaVine
greats.
is playing great with the Bulls, but nobody considering that man to join to be in the playoffs. I'm sorry, but he's very good. No, but he ain't no threat. Great and greatest is 2 different things. Great, and like I'm saying, LeBron put it on himself.
That's true.
If he wanted to and just do this, honestly, a lot of people I think will back up off of him if he didn't call himself the greatest of all time, the greatest player in the world.
True.
And is acting like Kyrie didn't shoot that 3 against Golden State. You know, I hate saying that, but my brother reminded me. He was like, Durant, let's not forget the fact they had to make a basket to win. And who did that for him? He was like, I said, Kyrie. He says, yes, with Curry in his face. You know, I said, well, he shot the free throws. Yeah, he missed one and made the other one. He said, but it took that 3 that Kyrie made. I said, well, what about the block LeBron did? He says, Durant, he's a team player. He did his job, but he's not the LeBron won the championship. No, the Cavs won the championship. And my brother said that's probably why Kyrie left. He's like, why is he getting all this credit? I want some credit too. From my remembrance, I'm the one who shot the 3. You got to make points to win.
Makes sense.
LeBron didn't say, give me the ball, let me take this. And he's not that kind of player, but I'm just saying, well, no, he is that when he wants to. But basically, when we talk about legacies, we're talking about basketball. We ain't talking about what you do outside. Outside of the NBA, LeBron is the best. I will give him that. You know, Jordan did shoes. LeBron did schools. And I'm not discrediting Jordan because I don't know what he does under the radar. Some people do things under the radar. They don't want people to know. But I'm just talking about from what we know. LeBron movies, LeBron schools,
Shaq.
LeBron this, LeBron Shaq too.
Shaq is doing very well for himself right now.
He's doing a lot for more than just himself. I give him 100% credit for that. Great man. Now let's talk about basketball. You're 3-8. Out of 8 championships, you only won 3.
Okay.
And then you join the Lakers, which you know they don't cut corners. I've met people who from LA, they don't play around with. If you're a superstar, they expect a lot, and if you don't perform, they'll tell you to get the heck out their city. So there's no excuses. Every time a superstar went on that team, they won. LeBron better win one. Because I will say this, if he don't get to the playoffs this year, a lot of people are not going to look at him the same. Because there's already a lot that's not looking at him the same. Don't make the playoffs, it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
And the worst part is, my brother was right. He said, Durant, if he doesn't make the playoffs, then all of a sudden he gets another superstar next year and he's just flourishing because of that superstar. People are going to be like, oh, well, what happened to you handling business? Because a superstar should be able to lead the team. That's what a superstar is for. That's why I love, like, Steph. Before I always said I liked Golden State before KD.
Yeah.
Because Steph stood up to the plate and said, let me lead y'all. Y'all do your part. Clay did his part. Draymond did his part. Iguodala. But Steph was leading. Jordan, he took what he had. Scottie Pippen became an all-star. When Shaq left Kobe, he took what he had. And then Paul Gasol became an all-star. They made super, like, you know, Kobe made a star on his team. Scottie Pippen became a star on Jordan's team. You know, the one thing I give LeBron credit for, like you said, he was his first year. I was like, no, LeBron went to the Cavs and got to the finals. But again, that was the East Coast.
It was.
Join the West Coast, you losing against the Suns.
Wow.
You telling me the Suns are your threat? That's how far in the hole y'all are? The Suns is your threat. That should have been an easy 30-win game. Easily. You should have beaten them, smacked them around by 30.
But he has been
injured. Did you hear
injured.
Snoop Dogg on Instagram? I'm not going to say what he said because it was very rough. Snoop Dogg went in on that team. It is true. Now, I do disagree about giving LeBron some... Well, yeah, I should say give him some help. I think that whole team needs help. LeBron needs help with himself. I think he needs, if it hasn't happened yet, he needs a one-on-one with Kobe. And Kobe needs to talk to some sense into that guy. You're not here to join the Lakers to dance around and talk about Space Jam. We'll hear that when you win.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, we ain't expecting you to get to the finals. But you need to win. Get to the playoffs. That's what when the season started, that's all the Lakers was talking about. People, the fans of Lakers, excuse me. Just like, we're going to make the playoffs. Snoop Dogg, hey. Stephen A was like, hey, what do you see? I see us making the playoffs. Now, it don't look good because there's not many games left for you to make it.
But it's still possible.
Oh, it's possible. But the thing is, what makes it possible is you have to hope the people who already made it who are in the playoff line lose.
Which is possible.
Yeah, but they have to lose and you have to win for you to get there. And what makes it worse is if you get in the 8th spot, which is more, if you make the playoffs, that's probably the only spot I see you can make is the 8th. Golden State is number 1. 1 and 8 go against each other first. So, unless some miracle happens, they're going to get swept 4-0 against Golden State.
Yeah.
But hey, Laker fans don't care. Just make the playoffs. That's it. You got Magic Johnson in that office. You got LeBron leading. You know, and honestly, my brother said it perfect. I was talking to my brother about this a way back, and I said, you know, he was like, all that tunnel, standing around the tunnel, and it was a capture of Rob Pelinka, I think his name is, Magic Johnson and LeBron standing in the tunnel. They was looking like bosses, like they was planning on something. He was like, so y'all plan was get Anthony Davis or we quit? He's like, that was the plan? All this tunnel, cameras looking at y'all like y'all got some master plan, and all that was to get Anthony Davis, and if that didn't work, it's just all sinking sand? No. Unacceptable. They didn't pay you $200 or however much they paid him to just sit around and not care. And he can say all day, I do care. It's not showing. It's really not. We watching it. We're like, his body language. Yeah, he put up 23 points. He could do that. That's easy. Are you winning? That's the problem. Are you showing every inch of your body that you tried so hard? Like, I think I would cut him slack if I saw him work his tail off every game and still lost, where it was like there was nothing he could do. Like, that's how I feel about it. There was times where Kobe did everything he could, but his team was that bad. That brother went into injury so many times for his team.
Okay.
You know, and he's better than Kobe and Jordan? No. There's no way. I don't think, no. I'm not even, no. There's some people that didn't make championships that I would say that I would put, no. Actually, I'm not even going to go there. But yeah, Jordan and Kobe, no. I love LeBron. He's the best small forward in the history of basketball. Is he better when it comes to skill, talent, and fear? No. Than Jordan and Kobe? Absolutely not.
Okay, so going back to the start of the conversation, you don't believe that he is working toward his legacy right now. So what is the legacy you want to see from LeBron?
Wait. What was the question?
What is the legacy? You basically said, based on his performance right now, he is not working toward his legacy.
I say he's messing up his legacy.
He's not messing up his legacy.
No, I'm just saying that's what I said.
It takes time to build a legacy. So what do you expect to see? What is your vision of LeBron's basketball legacy?
No, he's building up his legacy. I'm saying he's messing it up. His legacy is not finished, but he's messing it up. You know, him going to the... I said this. Him staying in the East probably would have kept his legacy good. Because you would have been winning. Because you would have saw the East Coast. You would never saw what it was like in the West, except in the finals. But you going to the West and then acting like this is messing it up. He will always be known for his time with Cleveland, for his time with Miami. And then when he gets to Lakers, unless he turns around and becomes better with his team, he's going to be known as, and then here's where the downfall happens. Lakers not making the playoffs. LeBron this. Because LeBron likes to be talked about when it's about winning. Now he's going to be talked about something way different than winning if you don't change it up. I mean, I don't know him personally, but it seems like Stephen A is like always ready to just, trash on LeBron. Now you like giving him ammo and the Skip Baylesses of the world and all these, and a lot of these people. And I hate saying it. I want him to succeed, but I'm not stupid to the facts. It's like, especially when you lost. Like, I think him losing to the Phoenix Suns really, and then you dancing the 2 Chainz the next day really, like,
it hit something.
Yeah, it hit something because I've watched this guy since he was in high school. And it was like, so I've always followed LeBron, and seeing this, it was like, what are we watching right now? Slouchy against the Suns, dancing the next day to 2 Chainz.
All right, so what's your advice to LeBron?
My advice? I mean, I'm not in the NBA. I don't want to give it, but as a person who watches and who watches the game, studies the game, like I've been a fan of basketball, all I have to say is, get your competitive nature back. Some people are scared to say it about LeBron. I would say he's not playing competitively. He's not showing that he's a true competitor. A true competitor. That means you give it your all till that clock says 0. You know, it was like game 1 against the Warriors last year. He gave it his all, scored 60-something points or 50-something points. As soon as JR messed that up and, you know, did that horrible thing, when overtime started, LeBron just lost it all, lost all competitive nature, and Golden State beat him by like 10 to 15 points. You know, you got to keep that nature at all times till that clock hits 0. Kobe was like, I don't know when to shut it off till that clock says 0. You got to have that if you're the greatest of all time. Because like I said, he put this on himself. Nobody came out and said you're the greatest of all time. Nobody went on television and said, LeBron, you're the greatest of all time. He went on his own self, which is the first superstar to ever do this, and say, I feel like I was the greatest of all time. Huh. So, with that, you're going to be compared to the greats. Tim Duncan, Jordan, Kobe, all these other players, Larry Bird. And trust me, when it comes to those people, you're on the bottom of that list. So get it back. Get your competitive nature back and say we're going to handle this. I don't care if you're going up against Golden State to try to get to the playoffs. You can make it happen. I believe in LeBron. I think he can do it if he wants to. That's the big thing. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
All right, guys. Well, let us know what you think. Is LeBron messing up his legacy right now? Comment below. And thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Into the Game.
That felt good getting out.
I bet it did.
I was holding that in. Like, I'm sitting here watching. I'm watching stuff. I'm just like, because I study the game, so I'm sitting here watching different things. I'm just like, it's like frustrating to look at.
I can tell you're very passionate about this subject.
I could be a coach, honestly. Yeah. I could be a coach.
Yes, you're very passionate about this subject. I'm sitting here and I'm just letting you go, and you just keep going and going. I'm just like, he is so bothered by this.
I am bothered. You know, you want people to do great, and when you're supposed to be great and you don't perform great, that's a big problem for me.
It's a disappointment.
It's a big disappointment. Unacceptable.
Oh, yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Into the Game.
Get it together, LeBron.
We'll talk to you later.